everyone, Jim Branscombe here for the Cinematic Boy Vlog. Today I'm joined by my good friend Kevin Kolsch. Say hi,
Hello.
Kevin. And we're doing something special today. We are doing filming locations for a movie that Kevin co-wrote and co-directed. What is that film, Kevin?
Starry Eyes.
Well, and where are we at today to start this location off?
We are at the house where Sarah's friends live. And this is actually a chance for me to clear up some confusion. Sometimes people in the movie think that everyone all lives together in the house, but Sarah and her friend, played by Amanda Fuller, they live in an apartment building, and this is where the guys, Poe and Danny, lived out back in a van. This is where they live, and this is where she comes to for a party. 2 different party scenes in the movie, and then at the end she comes, and this is where all the blood and gore happens.
Interesting. So how did you get to use this house as a location?
Well, you know, my friend Adam Stillwell, director of The Free Fall and The Triangle, whoa!
Oh!
There he is!
Oh, hey guys!
Hey Adam, how you doing?
Doing good.
So-
it's good over here.
Yeah, so this is Adam Stillwell, director of The Free Fall and The Triangle. He lived here, good friend of ours, let us use the house.
Yeah.
So, you know, this house got pretty bloody at some point. How hard was it to clean up afterwards?
So there's a pretty legendary story about that, actually, about the bed, the dumbbell scene. That never came out.
Yeah.
It was all over the walls. I do remember. So they used the.
And that was his roommate, and his
Yeah.
roommate believed that he was still going to go to bed in there that night, right? It was an overnight shoot, so like the sun coming up in the morning, like we turned his bed back over to him, and
Yeah.
it was now kind of like a water bed.
Yeah.
But
We were cool though because they paid our rent. That's that whole month rent.
Yeah.
So you know whatever.
yeah,
We were
so
good.
that took care of one of the back months that they that they owed.
Exactly.
Now, when you sold this place, was it a selling point as a filming location for Starry Eyes? Did that make the market value higher?
Funny enough, back to the dumbbell scene.
Yeah.
The bed. My roommate tried to sell the bed online or on Craigslist later, and he's billed it as the Starry Eyes dumbbells death bed.
Yeah, he talked about how the bed was now stained a darker color than it originally was sold at IKEA for. And the reason why was because we were staining it to cover up the blood stains.
I don't know if it ever worked or he sold it, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's eBay gold.
Yeah.
So if you want the
Yeah.
Starry Eyes bed, it's out there.
It's out there. Yeah, and fun fact, there's a little tiny room in there that we were editing The Triangle, and it was the only room that they weren't using in the place, and there's blood everywhere. I remember the scene where Fab got her lip or mouth kind of cut open in the kitchen, which was the big one. You and Travis and Dennis, they were here cleaning it up till like 4 a.m. But I remember Fab just kind of walking in. We were editing The Triangle, coming in with we had French fries from In-N-Out. She's like, "Oh, can I have some?" And her face is all bloody and coming down. It was good.
This is where some of the party happens. When they have the backyard party, they have a little stage set up here. Remember you used to have the stage set up here?
Oh yeah.
And then back here, is where Sarah comes to sit on the bench seats in the van
Yep.
alone.
There used to be a grapefruit tree there.
And then right over here was the van where Danny lives, Noah Segan's character, which we didn't have to bring in or even production design because
It was my van, and my filmmaking partner Nathaniel lived in it, just like Danny in the movie. So
You lived in a van down by this
the grapefruit
fence.
tree.
Grapefruit. He's the Nat Foley of the Alhambra.
Yep. And he actually famously did a Matt Foley impression.
oh
Yeah.
he did a lot of any like
Yeah.
yelling kind of
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I remember, you know, I feel like that's a pivotal scene in the movie where Alex and Noah have their little chat here about dreams and stuff, and it was kind of where we were all at. So I feel like using, you know, my buddy was living in there basically for free, and I imagine that's kind of what Noah was doing. So it's kind of cool.
Just living the dream.
Living the dream,
Yeah.
baby, and then getting slaughtered to death.
That's also
But-
living the
but
dream.
You didn't pay any rent?
Well, for a while.
For a while. All right, Kevin, where are we at now?
All right, so through the power of movies, the magic of movies, Sarah leaves the party with her friends, the house that we were just at in Alhambra, and where do they walk out onto? This street right here, Western. Sunset Boulevard down there, Hollywood Boulevard right down there on Western Avenue in Hollywood. And you'll notice this sign, that's the recognizable trademark, that's in the background behind them right here. We shot a lot of stuff all around this whole area, a couple subplots that kind of got cut that aren't in the finished movie, but they are on the deleted scenes. So if you do have it on the disc, on the Blu-rays, you could watch that. There's a lot of scenes all around, up and down the street here, on Hollywood Boulevard over there, on Sunset over here, and up and down Western.
Did you, when you and Dennis were working on the script, did you envision shooting a lot in Hollywood adjacent, or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this being like a Hollywood story and something kind of trying to break into Hollywood, we felt that, you know, the locations were very important, that Hollywood would serve as a character in and of itself. So, you know, this was something that we definitely didn't want to do, like, you know, go shoot in Vancouver doubled as Hollywood or something with some B unit. Like, we wanted to make sure that, like, you know, you really felt the characters in the place. You know, like that we really put them in places where you could feel that they were really there and that this was Hollywood, and sort of capturing the sort of essence of it. And one thing that I always say, it's funny, is that like whenever you see Hollywood or LA movies, you always get like sunny LA and the Hollywood sign, and it always looks beautiful and like perfect weather and all that. But like we wanted to make it kind of look more
How it
LA,
actually looks?
yeah, and make it kind of feel a little more apocalyptic or whatever. So like, and little do you know that, like, you know, every time we wanted to shoot outside, we ended up getting cloudy days, or we got some big, you know, not out of season rainstorms and everything like that. So, you know, we got very lucky. So what I always would say was that, you know, somebody up there really likes Satan movies, because they really, you know.
Where are we at now, Kevin?
Well, we're taking a little break from the locations video because filmmaking hasn't really been working out so good, so I've been trying to get some acting roles. I've got an audition. I'm going to go in and have this audition right now. We're at STARRY EYES Pictures.
So this is where it was at?
This is where it was. Interesting fact, though, this is Howard Hughes' old building.
Oh.
So when we did Starry Eyes, like, character of Sarah having like sort of an obsession with old Hollywood and having the old starlets on her wall, we tried to fill it with as much like old Hollywood as we could, like Hollywood Babylon type stuff. And this was one of the things. Just luckily enough, our good friend Brian Udovich, who's a producer, his office was in here at the time, so he got us into here. So, you know, obviously without him, I don't know that we would have been able to get in here, and all that stuff I talk about wanting to have cool old Hollywood locations, just we would have had to have not.
Now that since it was Howard Hughes had it, did you find any like fingernails or urine in a jar or anything like that?
No, but there was a woman that worked here that was like taking a lot of crew members down into the basement and showing the tunnels, or up into the other rooms where apparently he was peeing in the bottles and in the jars or whatever and stuff. So I never actually got to go on the tour because like me and Dennis were busy or whatever, but like a lot of people got to go see some of those spots, you know, where it was actually where it actually happened. I don't know if the Aviator filmed here. I don't know if that's where it actually happens in the Aviator, but it's where it happened in reality.
Yeah, that is real Hollywood. REEL.
So an interesting fact is that I talked about how this was Brian Udovich's office. When we filmed the actual going into the producer's office, the audition films are filmed inside here. This is the exterior for STARRY EYES. The audition films are filmed inside here. But for the scene where she actually goes back at night and gets to meet the producer in his office, for that, kind of the offices in here, which is kind of modern white-walled offices, and it didn't really feel like this old-school producer. So we shot the producer's office in one of the rooms at the mansion where the estate where he lives. You know, we shot it in the office room of his estate, but then that kind of messed up our schedule, and then we had some extra time here. So it turns out the place where we filmed Big Taters didn't have a back office. So Carl, who is the boss, Pat Healy at Big Taters, his office, where he has a couple meetings with Sarah, is actually Brian Udovich's office inside this building.
So, reason why we're doing this video is because me, Cinematic Void. I guess I am Cinematic Void. I guess that's how it works. I'm doing a screening of Starry Eyes for its 10th anniversary. And, you know, we've been friends for a while. Actually,
Yeah.
I've met you at the Beyond Fest Starry Eyes screening. I
Correct.
took a photo of you and Dennis Widmeyer, your co-director, co-writer, and Gene Simmons.
Yes.
That was the first time I met you, which is, you know, synergy. So now we're here doing
10 years
this.
later,
But
10-year screening.
and you know, it's like I've done a few location videos, but I haven't got a chance to do it with someone that actually, like, you know, worked on the film. You know, I just thought it'd be fun to do the screening because you and your wife Lisa come to basically everything I screen, regardless if you want to see it or not at this point. But I just, like, you know,
I want to see everything you screen, Jim.
I know, but
Because I will say that even things that I've seen before and I wasn't the hugest fan of, where I go, oh, I'm not the biggest fan of that one, I'll go see, and I like it better. Because like Jim always says, the best way to see a movie
is with an audience.
in the movie theater.
In a movie theater on the big screen. There's no better way to watch a movie. And I'm also one of those things, like, yeah, it's cool to see film prints, but like DCP doesn't matter. It's the audience experience. That is what matters. As I'm holding up this coffee, because this video is sponsored by Starbucks. I wish it was, because then
Ethos water.
yes. All right, Kevin, where are we at now here?
All right, we are at the Half Pipe in Bronson Canyon. This is the scene in Starry Eyes where the kids are all hanging out. They've got their cars parked up there with their headlights facing out at us, and they're sitting there drinking on this little ramp here. And then Sarah has kind of like her little meltdown and pushes her friend, and then runs off down here, disappears down this way, and that cuts us into the Hollywood Boulevard sequence.
So how did you guys decide to shoot here? Like,
Well, funny enough, as I was talking about wanting to do things that kind of felt like sort of Hollywood Babylon or old Hollywood type places, originally in the script, it was written that the friends were all hanging out drinking on Suicide Bridge in Pasadena. And then when Sarah runs away from her friends, she ends up at Devil's Gate Dam, which is where Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard did.
Allegedly, who else was it? It was
Aleister Crowley, yeah, and they did some like magic there and stuff. So we thought that would be a really great place to set that kind of old lore to it. And then, you know, Pasadena is a different permit than we already had, and then suddenly it would have cost extra money to go shoot there, extra money which we didn't have. So we decided to try and find a new location somewhere within our permit zone. And Travis Stevens, our producer, being a skateboarder and a fan of the movie Thrashin', said, let's go shoot at the Thrashin' Half Pipe. And this is apparently where they were doing like the jousting scene on the skateboards or something in the movie Thrashing. I mean, it is one of the things that, like, you know, you always think of the what could have been because of, yeah, how creepy it is and the lore of it. And you're like, oh, that would have been great in the movie. But I do like the way the scene ended up looking visually, with the kids hanging out here, like I said, with the cars parked and the headlights and stuff. I don't really know, well, the Suicide Bridge might have had the lore. I don't know what
it would look like.
Yeah, how it would look, if it would have looked as cool as this with the hills in the background and everything. So, I mean, I'm happy with the location, but yeah, of course, there's always a part of you that goes, man, if we shot at Devil's Gate Dam, that would have been awesome.
Right. That's what the sequel's for.
Yeah, exactly.
So, not a filming location, but this is significant for Starry Eyes because this is where you had your premiere, right? Or
Yes,
West.
that's right.
What was it? The West Coast premiere, or
Correct. Yeah, the West Coast premiere. It had played at South by. The West Coast premiere played at Beyond Fest
at the Egyptian Theater, as
the
we
Egyptian Theater, which we just happened to be walking by as we're going to a location.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice. It's like history. You made your own Hollywood history. You talked about how, like, when we're at the other location by the Target, that, like, you know, you want that old Hollywood glamour, and you had your premiere at an old Hollywood movie theater.
Yeah.
And now oh, go ahead, sorry. I mean,
I was saying, yeah, it was one of the best places to have the premiere. I felt like, you know, we were playing at the same place where some of these old movies and old-time Hollywood that we were trying to emulate, where those movies would have played, you know, so it's a great place to show it.
I think so. So we just passed Ripley's Believe It or Not, which you can see in a quick shot of as Alex is walking down the street
Walking
here,
down
right?
the street here, yeah. This is after she ran away from her friends at the half pipe at Bronson Canyon, and she's now ends up on Hollywood. She's walking down the street here. She passes by there, comes up here, and we're gonna head to where she eventually ends up. So, Alex, you'll see her when she's sick. She's coming down these stairs, and we're behind her on the camera. And in the background, you see this over here, El Capitan, another old theater.
Mm-hmm.
Right over there.
What are you saying about Hollywood cults, Kevin?
Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, you know, same way we wanted to get authentic Hollywood, old Hollywood locations in. We wanted to make sure we got the Hollywood cult vibe right. You know, we were making Estrellas. So we wanted to draw on, like, you know, real Hollywood
Cults. Yeah. Anyone in particular?
Manson family.
So where are we at now, Kevin? We're not quite there, but we're going to go on a hike.
Yeah, we're at Radio Hill Gardens. It is where Sarah comes out of the ground when she's reborn towards the end of Starry Eyes. I guess we should probably at some point say that there's obviously spoilers in this video.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching a filming location video, you should assume there's spoilers.
Yeah, of course. Look up over on the hills behind the tree there. You'll see it better. That's where we're going. We're going up here, the radio tower. You can see that behind her on the hill when she starts descending the hill with the birthday present that she gets when she comes out of the ground. So that's where we're headed. There's a trail right here that maybe take us there, but I believe over there is a staircase over there if we go over there. So, Jim.
Are we hiking or are we doing stairs? What do you think?
I don't know.
So, as we're wrapping up and getting our steps in for the day, like, what's it like to kind of go back and revisit these places like 10 years later, Kevin?
I don't know. I'm too focused on the heat and the walking and everything to really have any feelings about it yet.
Well, I mean, we could be making a Blair Witch sequel because we could end up dead and they just find my phone. And like, what happened to Kevin and Jim? Their whole day was filmed trying to make a vlog about Starry Eyes filming locations, but they went out in 110-degree heat and they died.
Yeah. Well, it still could happen.
How the fuck do you guys get up here when you're filming, Kevin?
Stuff like that.
Just like that. You're lugging fucking camera equipment around. And...
Well, no, we got the gate open for that. We drove trucks up here on the road.
And you know, all that was made possible by, I mean, you did Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
The film. How much of that was for the film, or was that more for like post or stuff like that, or was it like you funded the majority of the film through Kickstarter?
No, what happened was we started through Kickstarter, and we got a decent budget. Me and Dennis were planning on shooting it that way regardless, even if we had to just run and gun with our like Canon 7Ds or GoPros. Then Dark Sky Films wanted to work with Travis because he had just had some success from Cheap Thrills and Hodorowski's Dune. So they asked him what he had next. This was what he had next. They came on board, filled out, made it into a bigger budget than it was, but still a small budget.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk and talk at the same time, sorry.
It's all right.
You hear that over that dance? Whatever, I don't remember how the music goes, the baseball music.
The baseball thing? Oh yeah, because I'm just going to zoom in real quick before we put it, but like over here is Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
So right about here is where you had it buried?
Yeah, this was the ritual. You know, they were walking around with all the Estrellas people with their lights. They were doing their chanting, Hail Estrellas. She had her, grave right about here. This is where they put the lights down and the Estrella symbol. She came out of the grave right about here with that before her.
All right.
The downtown, and then when we cut to in the profile, you were able to see that right there. Dodger Stadium. Guys asking to do some kind of cheering. So me and Jim trying to find a faster way down this hill. We were scrambling down this over here, just a little bit over to the side, and I remembered that, how I said over there, it didn't look like I remembered it being overgrown like this. I think we cheated her over a little bit for that shot, and the camera was over here on this clearer path, and that's where she was walking down with the present right over here.
Well, we're redoing our outro. We did it on Radio Hill, and I guess between the wind and the sun, you know, burning and melting everything, including my phone, we had the audio was crap, so we're doing it again. So this is our outro, take 2.
Yeah,
you know, just
and here's a little movie magic. This hill back here is subbing in for Radio Hill Tower.
but there's a helicopter flying over, so it's, you know, we're still living the Hollywood dream. But thank you, Kevin, for taking me on revisiting all these Starry Eyes filming locations.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for what's coming up.
The screening. I guess this video will come out before the screening, but there's a chance people might watch it after the screening. So,
okay. So then thank you for what already happened.
But until next time, see you in the void. Kevin's going to run up the half pipe.
All right. Did it.